Last year, Google fired 35% of its managers. Amazon built a literal mailbox for employees to report unnecessary bureaucracy. Shopify deleted 12,000 meetings. In a single week, Meta laid off 20,000 people and called it efficiency. These are not struggling companies. These are the most valuable corporations on Earth. And they are all spending billions of dollars trying to become something that already exists. A one-person company. Every story has a playbook you were never meant to see. But here's what nobody's telling you. The person they're all trying to become, 95% of the time, that person fails. Both sides of this story have something to hide. And today, we're going to see all of it. Let's start with something the venture capital industry would prefer you didn't know. Correlation Ventures analyzed 21,640 startup deals. 65% lost money. Not broke even. Lost money. The Kauffman Foundation, one of the most respected research institutions in entrepreneurship, studied over 100 venture capital funds. Only 3 justified the risk. 3 out of 100. The entire VC model depends on finding unicorns. 1000x returns. One deal that pays for all the others. That's the math. That's the game. Now here's why this matters to you. A founder who makes $2 million a year by herself? That's a catastrophe for VC math. Not because it's a failure, because it proves you didn't need them. Now let me show you the math they never show you at a pitch competition. You start a company. You own 100%. Seed round. You give up 20%. Down to 80. Series A. Another chunk. You're at 50. Series B. More dilution. 30%. By Series C, you own 15 to 25% of the company you built. Now let's do the comparison. A bootstrap founder making $2 million a year keeps all of it. Over 10 years, that's $20 million in her pocket. A VC-backed founder with 15% ownership? To match that, she needs a $133 million exit. Let me say that again. $133 million. Just to match the bootstrap founder's take-home. And remember, 65% of VC deals return zero. So the dilution trap isn't about ownership percentages. It's about the probability of ever seeing a dollar. And the probability is not on your side. In 2006, Paul Graham, the godfather of Y Combinator, the most influential startup accelerator on Earth, published an essay called 18 Mistakes That Kill Startups. Mistake number 1, having a single founder. Not having bad product market fit. Not running out of money. Number 1, single founder. He told an entire generation of builders that going it alone was the single worst thing they could do. Now here's the part he never publicly reconciled. Y Combinator's own outcome data, years later, showed that solo founders are 2.3 times more likely to be in the top 10% of performers. Let me be precise about what just happened. The man who built the most important startup institution in history wrote an essay telling founders they can't do it alone and was sitting on data that said the opposite. He never updated the essay. He never addressed the contradiction. And if you Google that essay today, single founder is still mistake number 1. Now let's look at the other side. In 2023, Mark Zuckerberg declared a year of efficiency. He cut over 20,000 people. His exact words on the earnings call. And I want you to pay attention to the language. Removing layers of middle management to make decisions faster. Read that sentence again. Removing layers. Faster decisions. Fewer people between the idea and the execution. He just described what a solo founder does by default. He spent billions trying to build what Peter Levels already is. Andy Jassy, Amazon CEO, did something even stranger. He created a literal mailbox, an email address, where any Amazon employee could report unnecessary bureaucracy. 1,500 complaints came in. 455 processes were changed. His stated goal, and this is a direct quote, operate like the world's largest startup. Let that sink in for a second. The world's largest online retailer is paying consultants billions of dollars to redesign itself into something that a 26-year-old in Chiang Mai does naturally. From a laptop with 0 employees, and no bureaucracy mailbox, because there's nobody to complain to. Shopify went further. They didn't just restructure, they subtracted. 12,000 meetings deleted. In a single week, 322,000 hours recovered. Projects completed 25% faster. Toby Lutke, Shopify's founder, summarized it in one sentence. The best thing founders can do is subtraction. Here's the billion-dollar insight hiding in that sentence. Addition is the disease. Subtraction is the cure. And the one-person company? It's subtraction taken to its logical extreme. Meta, Amazon, Google, who cut 35% of their small team managers. UPS, 14,000 management positions eliminated, $3.5 billion saved. Shopify, 5 companies, 5 industries, technology, retail, search, logistics, commerce. One conclusion. They are all converging on the same model. Fewer layers, faster decisions, higher output per person. This is not a coincidence. This is not a trend. This is organizational evolution in real time. The one-person company isn't a lifestyle choice. It's the endpoint. And the biggest companies on earth just told you, not with their words, but with their actions, that they agree. They agree so strongly, they're spending billions trying to get there. Now let me show you what they don't put in the Twitter thread. Peter Levels makes $2.7 million a year. That's the screenshot everyone shares. Here's the screenshot nobody shares. The average solopreneur in America makes $39,000 to $69,000. Census data, not Twitter data, shows 36% make under $25,000. Only 41% can rely on solo work as their primary income. So when you see someone post their revenue dashboard and say you can do this too, remember, for every Peter Levels screenshot you've liked on Twitter, there are 1,000 founders who made less than a junior developer's salary. They just don't post about it. 48% of solopreneurs have had at least 1 month with 0 income. Not low income, 0. 68% have less than 6 months of savings, which means when that 0 income month hits, and the data says it probably will, most of them are 6 months from bankruptcy. The freedom they sold you comes with a price tag nobody advertises. The influencer showing you their Bali co-working space? They're not showing you the 3 a.m. panic attack about next month's rent. They're not showing you the refresh on Stripe hoping something, anything, comes in. They're not showing you what 0 looks like at 3 in the morning. There's a number that doesn't appear in any solopreneur success story. 87.7%. That's the percentage of entrepreneurs who struggle with at least one mental health issue. Loneliness score among solo founders, 7.6 out of 10. And then there's the freedom trap. Many solo founders work 60 to 100 hours a week. They call it passion. They call it hustle. Stanford research calls it something else. Productivity collapses after 55 hours. The extra hours produce literally 0 marginal output. 0. You're not just working alone. You're working alone, working too much, producing nothing for it, and nobody around you understands why you can't stop. And here's the detail that should terrify you. Peter Levels, the poster child, the $2.7 million guy, the one everyone points to, said this himself. 95% of everything I ever did failed. Only 4 out of more than 70 projects made money. Danny Postma, Headshot Pro, making 6 figures a month, tested 12 ideas before he found one that worked. 11 failures. These are the winners. These are the people whose screenshots you're liking. And even they failed 70 times. 12 times. For every Peter, there are thousands who tried 70 things and found 0. Peter is not the rule. He is the most extreme exception imaginable. And building your life plan around an exception is not a strategy. And now the part nobody wants to talk about. Sahil Lavangia, the man who wrote the book on the one-person company. The man whose Gumroad story launched 1,000 quit your job tweets. His one-person company, it actually has 25 contractors. Not one person, 25. And as of late 2024, he's walking back the playbook he made famous. No meetings, no deadlines. He's returning to synchronous in-person work. The poster child of the movement is quietly abandoning the model. He just hasn't tweeted about it yet. You thought this was about quitting your job. It's not. This is about a civilization-level shift. From scale everything to scale nothing. The VC model, the corporate hierarchy, the management layer, they're all variations of the same belief. Bigger is better. 29.8 million Americans and 5 of the world's largest companies are now betting the opposite. But here's what makes this story different from every other one-person company video you've ever seen. Both sides have something to hide. The VCs don't want you to know you don't need them. The solopreneur influencers don't want you to see the graveyard. And until you see both playbooks, you're making the biggest decision of your career with half the information. Sam Altman has a betting pool with his CEO friends. The bet? When the first one-person billion-dollar company will appear. It hasn't happened yet. Maybe it will. Maybe the model has a ceiling nobody wants to talk about. 84% of American businesses already have 0 employees. Most of them make less than $50,000 a year. Is the one-person company the future of work? Or is it the future of working more, for less? We don't know, and that's the point. Because if anyone tells you they have the answer, check which side of the playbook they're selling. If you want to see the playbook behind the next story, subscribe.